Before I start the video, quick shameless plug. Please subscribe to the channel. Please go subscribe to the second channel. And please consider becoming a member today. You guys really seem to enjoy the last video I made, so while I do appreciate each and every one of you, let's get one thing straight off the hop. I ain't simping over you guys. It ain't happening. No way. But I'll tell you what I am going to be simping over today. Batman Arkham Origins. I mean, come on. Bruce in this game is just so handsome. I have to simp over this guy. I mean, just look at him. This guy's an absolute giga Chad. If you were to think of people who you were to aspire to look like, this would be the guy here. And so today we're going over the perfect Christmas story in Batman Arkham Origins. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up. Enough of my yapping, let's get into the story. So the game starts, and the first thing that we see right off the hop is a bunch of bats, and like, get it? Like, because he's Batman, that's like the joke, I guess. But anyways, Batman gets a notification on his back computer, and it's like, oh, so there's a riot going down at Blackgate Prison, and it's Black Mask. You should probably go ahead and check that out and, like, see what's going on. So, like, we go to Blackgate Prison and just decide, you know, we gotta stop Black Mask. We should probably do that. So we run inside and we see Warden Joseph just getting absolutely smacked around worse than Ellie did in The Last of Us. Like, it was bad. This guy was, like, misbehaving or something and got himself a massive spanking. And then he goes, like, oh, what's that behind you? I got you. Like, your shoe's also untied, and Santa Claus is also real. And then it turns out, oh, Santa Claus in this case is indeed real, and Batman just puts a beating on this boy. Gives him exactly no room to breathe, immediately stomps on this guy's neck and says, yeah, you're done for. Probably could have killed him, but, like, who cares? It's Batman. He can't kill people, so, like, he won't die. And the warden's like, oh, you just saved my life? Well, let me take a swing at you. He's like, no, I'm sorry, don't hurt me. And Batman's trying to get information, so he's all like, yo, so, like, who tore this place apart? Where's Black Mask? And Warden's just completely useless with one eye. He only sees half of what Batman sees, so I guess he probably wasn't able to see much. But Warden Joseph's all like, but Black Mask was gonna go after Commissioner Lowe, so I guess that could be where he's going. You should probably go save him. So now we have to go freaking save Commissioner Lowe. Haven't seen him in the entire franchise. I understand this game explains why, but, like, why should I care about some commissioner in Gotham? Chances are he's probably corrupt anyway. Now, as I think I'm tracking down Black Mask, we see Killer Croc make an entrance, just absolutely chewing this guy up to bits. That poor guy's throat is unfortunately more gone than your dad when he went to go get the milk. Now, we finally get a peek at Black Mask and Killer Croc together for the first time, and we see that they got Commissioner Lowe, but I'm going to be 100% honest. I really just do not care about this little part of the plot at all, because we know that Commissioner Gordon ends up taking over eventually anyway, so it's pretty obvious that he's going to end up dying regardless. And also, why would I care about a 5'4" little midget twerp? But I guess as our duty as Batman, it's my job to end up saving the Commissioner. So we end up chasing him down, and Commissioner Loeb is like, well, haven't I always come through for you? I've been super corrupt just for you, Black Mask. Black Mask is all like, yeah, you have, but honestly, I don't care. You're worthless. Get in this chamber, little boy. And so Commissioner Loeb ends up dying, and we are, unfortunately, not able to save him because we can only break the glass when it's convenient for the plot. I know. What a shocker. Now here we actually get really lucky and have the criminal do a stupid thing. I know that never happens ever in the history of ever. And Killer Croc ends up basically smashing this drone, thinking that he destroyed the memory card. Turns out he didn't, and we're going to end up using this later for some very important information that just so happens to surround around this entire game. Now, chasing Black Mask up to the roof, yeah, he's escaping by way of helicopter. We can't catch him this early in the game. The game would be way too short. However, Killer Croc stays behind, and Batman comes across him on the rooftop, and Killer Croc's all like, yo, you smell really bad, man. You definitely need a bubble bath. And Batman's like, no you. And this is where we get to the first boss fight. I'm going to be honest, this is a pretty good boss battle, especially for a tutorial. It teaches you the basic cape stun and beatdown, and it teaches you that you can throw batarangs at explosives to cause damage to your enemies. I think it's a very good boss battle to start the game and to show the player the basics of the overall combat. And, like, I'm not gonna lie, this is just kind of straight up aura farming. You're just beating up a 9-foot tall crocodile. Like, it's kind of crazy, bro. So, of course, with ease, because I'm the GOAT, we end up defeating Killer Croc, and we need information about Black Mask. So we go to him and we're like, yo, if you don't tell me what I want to know, I'll make you eat a vegetarian diet for the rest of your life. Killer Croc's like, well, we'll just wait till Black Mask's assassins get through with you. And Batman's like, yo, I'm gonna make you eat vegan if you don't tell me what I want to know. It's like, oh, don't you worry. One of them is easily going to kill you. Batman's like, well, at least we know he won't be ugly. Alright, bro. When did you become Eminem with the roast battles? Honestly, like, take a chill pill. It's really not that serious. Just because your parents died doesn't mean you need to be a dick all the time. I haven't gone back to the Batcave. I guess it's time to see what's on that hard drive, and boy am I praying that there is definitely no certain types of categories on there like Batman porn or anything like that. I would hate to see that on my screen. And in checking out the hard drive, Killer Croc was 100% telling us the truth. There are 8 assassins after our head for the $50 million reward that Black Mask is going to give out if he kills the Batman. Now, I don't know how Black Mask came across this money, but all I know is it was definitely 100% legitimate. Nothing shady going on there whatsoever. As well as we have to figure out who is operating the drone in Blackgate Prison. So it seems like Batman, as per usual, has a lot in his hands. Like, can't we get Robin to figure out who's operating the drone? What's even the point in having him if we can't even use him for the stuff that we do not want to deal with? Now, this game has incorporated fast travel, which, in a sense, I was very grateful for because I did not want to glide across that Gotham Bridge. I'm going to keep it a buck with you, but also I understand that we have to be able to get out of the Batcave somehow and have us spawn in 2 specific places. So I actually did kind of appreciate having the fast travel in this game. So we're on our way to actually interrogate Penguin's arms dealer to see what he knows. But we gotta go deal with this tower that for some reason its comms has gone down. One of the control towers for the fast travel. I gotta go fix it before you can continue. The Fueller's back! It's gonna get the better of me once again. Headed into the tower. Yeah, there was a small little explosion. Someone may have perished in the process. Like, not really the biggest deal in the world. Whatever, it's Gotham. People die every 5 seconds anyway from some sort of crime. Which, upon inspecting the crime scene, which, by the way, the crime scene investigation is absolutely beautiful. I really gotta tip my hat to WB Games on this one. This was absolutely phenomenal. I love this. I'm gonna straight up glaze it. I don't even care. I'm glazing it like a donut. It's just so friggin' good. But enough glazing, enough giving praise. Time to go back to being very, very annoyed at the fact that the Riddler's in this game once again. This is kind of like his introduction. These control towers are kind of like your way of having to deal with the Riddler. Instead of like riddles and that sort of stuff, yeah, now you gotta deal with these towers as well as these like care packages to deal with. So yeah, it turns out Riddler's involved. Yay, more Riddler stuff. Now, instead of letting me just fast travel across Gotham, this would have saved me a lot of time. Nope, I gotta glide across this entire bridge. Now, watching it back, yeah, maybe it's only a minute long, but in the moment, it feels like it's about 15 minutes. I'm not even joking. This feels like it takes so long. I probably could have went, made a sandwich, ate a sandwich, came back, had a nap, and I probably still would not have been across that bridge yet. That's how long this felt like it took. Although I will say, Gotham is extremely beautiful. I do actually really enjoy the map of this game. I enjoy the scenery and everything looks so good. Partially maybe it's because of the snow and the weather and everything involved, but I think the buildings look really good. Everything just looks different back then. I think that's the whole idea. Everything's meant to look almost younger, more appealing, just overall straight up better, and I do think it's really good. Okay, enough glazing. Now we finally catch up to Penguin's arms dealer, and this guy literally thinks he's top dog, even though we never hear from him again. We don't hear anything about him in Batman Arkham Knight. I mean, just look at this guy. This guy definitely looks like he ate some swirlies for lunch back in his public school days. And for dinner, he probably had an extra swirly. His parents probably gave him swirlies even. He's like that kid who like goes and complains to the teacher that stuff isn't going his way, so then the teacher punches him in the face. That's who Ricky Loose Lips reminds me of. Anyway, after completely mogging on his entire crew and wrecking him to bits, we actually just carry him up to the roof. I'm not even joking. We just straight up bring him up to the roof and dangle him. Like, Batman in this game is straight up malicious. He literally does not care at all. He is willing to borderline murder you. He is just such an angry little devil at all times. And I do kind of respect, like, just how much he just doesn't care. It doesn't matter if you're in a coma. As long as you're breathing, it really does not matter to Batman, and I really respect it. So anyway, after basically borderline murdering this guy, we also steal his phone on top of that, which we can use the SIM card to essentially track the Penguin's location. So after doing a bit of running around, this, that, and the other, yeah, we find out he's hidden on a boat. Like, bro, who hides on a boat? Are you scared, little boy? Get off the boat, you little fat midget. So anyway, we have to go to the boat, and we have to go through a bunch of thugs in order to get to the Penguin. I'm not going to walk us through all this, except for the fact that we have the greatest fight in the Batman Arkham franchise in Electrocutioner. This guy was such a hard boss, I had to push X one time. That's how hard this boss was. So anyway, after dealing with a bunch of Penguin's thugs, I'm not even joking when I say a bunch. That's what a lot of this mission is. And actually, I actually kind of like it, but I'm not going to walk you through all the boring little nitty gritty. Literally, no one cares. Let's get to the good stuff. So we have to go up to Penguin's office in order to talk to him and be like, yo, bro, like, tell me what you know. And he's like, no, I don't want to tell you. Tell me before I murder you. Okay, there was a murder at Lacey Towers. Like, bro, it was that easy? all I had to do was basically threaten you and pick you up and toss you around a little bit. You would not do very good as the Nail in any sort of fight situation, would ya? Then entered Deathstroke, where this is actually one of the greatest boss fights in the entire Batman Arkham franchise, if I do say so myself. Absolutely the best hand-to-hand combat one in the entire franchise, I'll tell you that one for absolutely free. Despite the fact that there was some remnants from the Ra's al Ghul boss fight from Batman Arkham City, I'm going to forgive it because this was so good. This was like the first enemy that I could get through that also had the ability to counter you and not be such a pushover like every other Batman Arkham villain, essentially. Like, even the martial artists aren't even close to Deathstroke. This was straight up a lot of fun to play. Now, yes, does it become easier with time? Sure. But the first time you play it, oh my goodness, you might want to throw your controller against the wall. It is absolutely one of the most frustrating things because you can't really use many gadgets on him besides the Bat Claw. Other than that, you pretty much just have to use your hands and your ability to strike and counter. That's literally it. That's all you got, but it does work, and it is a bit difficult at times, so I'll give the game its praises. Probably the second best boss fight in the franchise. Probably. Second or third for me. Now, as we get done with Deathstroke, the Penguin has the audacity, by the way, I just caught you lacking in 4K, has the audacity to taunt us, even though we literally were just manhandling him, bro. Don't act like for a split second I wasn't absolutely making you my little prison B word, if you get what I'm saying. So we head over to Lazy Towers, where the cops are for some reason convinced that it was the Penguin, despite the fact that we actually come to the very simple conclusion that the soot was on top of the fire, meaning it could not have been the Penguin, and he was not there until after the fact. Like, are these cops just straight up dumb? I mean, I know we're in Gotham, but like at some point, you're kind of stretching the amount of believability with how stupid these cops actually are. Anyway, upon scanning the crime scene, which, by the way, I'm going to glaze again, the crime scene investigation, absolutely beautiful, especially in this part with this mission, was the best part of the crime scene investigation by far. This was so much fun. Analyzing it and watching the replay back and having Batman show us his POV of what he thinks happened, this was just so sick. Straight up glazing, but it was so sick. Anyway, upon scanning the crime scene, it turns out Black Mask is not dead, and it was actually a doppelganger of his, and there's someone named the Joker. We find out that someone named the Joker was involved here in killing the double stuntman and beating up Roman Sionis. What a shocker, a story that contains the Joker. And I mean, I don't know who this Joker guy is yet, but I'm sure he's not absolutely crazy and causes absolute chaos or fun. I'm sure everything he does is methodical and with an intent and with a purpose. Now, unfortunately, we have to go to the GCPD. Despite the fact that Batman is probably the most hated figure in Gotham right now, we need access to the National Criminal Database. However, before we can go there, we have to go to the Batcave first. Filler, baby, we love it! Not just any filler. We have to go get a concussion detonator. The most useless gadget in the entire franchise. I don't think I used this once, and if I did, it was just to make it feel included. Kind of like your little brother when you have to play video games with him, you have to make him feel included. Yeah, that's the exact same situation here. Now, we do end up beating the entire Gotham City Police Department. I'm not even joking. The entire precinct has been beat up by Batman as of right now. And we beat up some thugs, which is also a nice touch. Which we get access to the National Criminal Database after some filler with getting the Disruptor, yada yada yada. But it turns out that we actually need to be hardlined or something that Barbara Gordon said. I didn't fully understand the terminology she used. I'm not really that smart. You can just let me know what she said down in the comments. I'm kind of slow. But anyway, the important fact is we have to go down to the sewers. This feels like more filler. This is more BS. I'm actually on the verge of crashing out. Back-to-back videos with a bunch of filler, am I right? I mean, first the DLC stuff, all that filler. I've said filler more in the past week than I think I have in my entire lifetime. I'm not even joking. Sometimes filler is fine, but nah, bro, I am literally reaching my limit. I'm on the verge of crashing out here. Despite the fact that this is filler, this is some pretty cool filler. I actually really do like the level design. I like the creepiness of the sewers and all that. It kind of emulates something like a little bit, not quite as good as Batman Arkham Asylum, but it's still very good in its own right. But anyways, we finally make it to the National Criminal Database. I know, I never thought that we would see the day where something like this would happen, but we finally made it after about 6 hours of trying. I'm definitely not over-exaggerating for content. Definitely not doing that whatsoever. Now, from what my simpleton brain has kind of come to gather is that Joker essentially wanted to kidnap Roman Sionis as a way to get into the Gotham Merchants Bank to steal his money, and essentially use that money towards getting the $50 million to be able to put the hit on Batman. That's essentially what I gather from it. I could be somewhat wrong. I am kind of slow. I'm not the smartest person around. I will definitely be the first person to admit that. But my only question is, if this crime took place several days ago, as Batman noted earlier, then why is this thing at the bank just happening now? Shouldn't it have happened a few days ago, or even as late as yesterday? Does it only conveniently happen today for the sake of the plot? Yeah? Alright, well, I'll give you guys a bit of a pass on this one, since this game's been very good so far. So upon a lengthy glide across the Gotham Bridge, we make our way to the Gotham Merchants Bank where we meet the Joker for the first time, and it's just so cute. It's like when you see a couple falling in love for the first time and they finally meet for the first time, and it's just so cute and adorable. That's what it was like, the Batman and Joker. They may not be gay, but there's like a little bit of like a bromance or something going on here. It's a little gay. But it turns out this entire time, Joker's been running Roman Sionis' operation. He's the one who put the $50 million hit on Batman's head. But now, after what we end up going through tonight, he's no longer going to want him dead. He's going to want to play with them. And I didn't mean in that way, you creep. So now from this point on, no matter what we do, this game's going to turn into, we have to stop the Joker. That's not a bad thing. I like chasing around the Joker. It's a lot of fun. Pause, I realized how that sounded. It's a lot of fun, and that's definitely not a negative insult. But the Joker's taking Roman Sionis to the Sionis steel mill, so we have to go there and save him for some reason. I'm going to be honest, though. I don't really care to save him. I don't want to say that this is filler, but, like, we're Batman, so we have to save everyone, and it's stupid. Like, can't we just let him die, bro? Like, it's not killing him if we're just letting him die. We're not the ones who are killing him. He just somehow managed to die because someone else killed him and we didn't stop him. Like, that's not the same thing. Then enter Copperhead, one of the 8 assassins that are going for the 50 mil. I'm gonna be honest, I don't care for Copperhead. I never heard of her before this game, and I never want to hear of her again after this game. I literally could not care less about this character in any way, shape, or form. In the boss fight, not very good. It basically took all the worst aspects of the Ra's al Ghul fight, implemented them into this fight, and just made me not care about her character whatsoever. Like a worse version of, like, Scarecrow in pretty much every single way with a bad boss fight. That's the best way I can describe it. And it's so funny, like, as soon as we're cured back to normal health, she's literally just a piece of cake. We literally just twerked all over her grave. Pause, resume, fast forward. She was just super easy once we're at full strength. I mean, we literally just slammed her into the ground. Bro, you are literal garbage. You are literally trash, bro. Easily mogged on. And you're not even, like, that attractive. Like, what even are you? Like, what is even the purpose of your character? Anyway, so she's like, wait, I can tell you where Joker is if you let me go. And, like, there's a meeting. All the assassins are gonna be there. And Batman's like, oh, thanks for telling me where it is. Even though she didn't have to tell us where it is, actually. But Batman's just that smart. He's smart enough to think, oh, Electrocutioner's magnetic pulse waves or some sort of nerdy lingo is going to give us the location of the Joker. I don't know how Batman does it, bro. Like, I literally am operating at about 4 IQ at all times. And it seems like Batman is literally Albert Einstein. That's how smart this guy is. So anyway, we head to the hotel, and we get to witness how sexy, I mean, weird and crazy the Joker truly is. I mean, look what he does to poor Electrocutioner here. He kicks the guy out of a window, bro. Like, you know this guy is just straight up diabolical, and I love it. I love every part of the Joker. Give me part of the Joker. Sorry, I was playing my role as Batman, being in love with the Joker. Nope, we are not at that part yet. Let's hold off on the romance until they start hugging when they fall off a roof. So now that Electrocutioner is deceased, we're just gonna take his gloves. We're not gonna, like, tell the GCPD that he's dead or anything like that. Nah, we're just gonna take his gloves and use them, and I'm gonna be honest, I love Electrocutioner's gloves. They are very overpowered, and it's very easy to win fights like that, but it just feels so cool. I basically feel like I'm just electrocuting people without actually having to cause them too much damage, and I think it's actually really cool. And you don't have to use them, so I think it's a really nice addition to this game. Then we get to a very psychotic level known as Joker's Funhouse. I don't know how he was able to piece this all together without getting the cops involved or anything, but honestly, I really enjoy this mission. I think it's actually a lot of fun. It's really something that's truly unique to the Batman Arkham franchise. Like, you can only put stuff like this in the Batman Arkham games and not think of it as, like, something that's weird. Like, this is definitely something that the Joker would do. Especially during a time where he's really trying to make it known who he truly is. Yeah, no, Joker just doesn't care at all. It's absolutely crazy. But I do think that this part is a lot of fun. Having to solve certain riddles and puzzles. I just think it's fun. So Joker's in the penthouse, and as we're making our way up, we see Joker's fun and festive room. Okay, Joker, we see you getting into the Christmas and New Year's spirit. I can appreciate when someone puts a good amount of effort into celebrating the holidays in such fashion. I can get behind this. But knowing that Joker's in the funhouse, it should be easy, right? We go up to the penthouse, we stop Joker, everybody laughs, and we all go home. Yeah, not so fast. Bane is really smart in this game, so it's going to take more than just a little bit of hiding up in an elevator shaft for us to be able to get away with this. So not only is Bane insanely strong, but he's also extremely smart in this game, so this is going to be a lot of fun to deal with. But the good news is, Bane brought us straight to the Joker so we could stop him, stop Bane, and that'd be the end of the game, right? We're going to finally get that happy storybook ending and defeat the Joker once and for all. Now watch me beat the Joker here. Oh yeah. Batman porn. Oh, this Batman porn makes me feel so good. Oh, yeah, I really enjoy watching this. Nothing. So now we gotta have a boss fight with Bane, of course, and this is a really good boss fight. Bane's boss fights in these games are really good. I mean, in this particular game, because there's multiple that we're gonna have to deal with, and they are both very good. Now, keep in mind what Batman's about to say here.
You just ran out of time.
Because that's gonna matter in the story later. So Joker and the cops get into a shoot-off. These cops end up dying, because of course they do. They absolutely suck. And then, this happens. Alright, sure, bro. I don't know how Batman was able to catch up to the Joker, but we did it. We caught him. We saved him for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, yeah, Batman, there's got to be a certain point where your willingness to save people just has to stop. But that was the moment that the Joker essentially fell in love with Batman, how he became obsessed with him, willing to jump off a roof to save him, willing to go to extreme lengths to make him feel like he matters.
Who else would jump off a building to save your sorry ass?
You know, officer. I was wondering the same thing myself.
And insert Joker meeting Harley Quinn for the first time in Blackgate Prison, which is technically not canon, but I'm willing to let it slide on this because this scene is very good. And it really goes to show, how did Harley Quinn become a psychiatrist? In any way, shape, or form, how did she become a doctor? I literally do not understand. If she's so easily manipulated by a patient who's going under a psych evaluation, then she should never have been a doctor in the first place. She holds way too much sympathy for people, lets her emotions get too involved, and she doesn't think very well. She's clearly very dumb. So we go through this whole Red Hood playing as the Joker section. We find out that Joker's becoming obsessed with Batman, and Harley Quinn is literally dumb enough to think that we are talking about her in this instance, even though just because there's certain things like, oh, I don't know the real name, blah, blah, blah. So she immediately thinks it's about her. How narcissistic do you have to be to think that everything is about you? And as soon as Joker figures this out, he's able to manipulate her. He doesn't care about her, never has, but she's too dumb to realize it. And on the flip side, we got Batman, who is very visibly traumatized by the events he just witnessed, realizing the Joker is just a different type of human being. He's dealt with normal criminals, but not with a guy like this. And this is, like, in the making of a very toxic relationship. Like, I don't think Batman wants anything to do with it, but at the same time, he also can't stop coming back to it, and the Joker's just in love with Batman. It's a very toxic dynamic, and in this instance, I love it. And now we have to insert the wham wham, my parents are dead section. Bro, we get it, your parents died. Like, does it have to be in every freaking Arkham game? And as Alfred's all like, yo, Batman, I made a promise to your parents. Batman's like, get the hell out of here, Alfred. Go make me a freaking sandwich. The GCPD dispatch goes off, and it's like, yo, we think it might be Bane. He's probably dead. So Batman's all like, I gotta go to the GCPD. I gotta steal this body. I wanna know what venom tastes like. So Alfred reminds Batman, oh, by the way, before you go, make sure you grab your glue grenade. It'll do less lasting damage to the police officers. But I'm sure you're not gonna listen to me. You never do. Starts kind of pouting like a little annoying girlfriend. You all know what that's like. And then as Batman's going to go, despite the fact that Alfred's mentioned that he was leaving, goes, Master Bruce, you can't go. How am I gonna edge the Batman porn with you not here in my presence? Batman's like, don't talk to me like that. Go make my bed and make me a nice hot tea for when I get back. You're nothing but a servant. And then Batman goes on his, I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman. And Alfred's like, please stay, I want the Batman porn. And then after all that, Alfred's like, you know what, man, I'm sorry, I did indeed edge. I was just trying to get more. I was getting a bit greedy. Batman's like, it's all good, man, I get it. So we have to head to the GCPD. Oh yeah, so by the way, it's not Bane's corpse, it just happens to be one of his men. And we just so happen to discover here about this drug called TN1 that essentially makes you super massive for a short amount of time, but just happens to ruin your short-term memory loss. Now, like, for someone like me, who already has a really bad memory, and I'm kind of dumb in general, it's not going to affect me too much. But for someone who's smart like Bane, and is already huge, it's kind of a dumb thing to do, man. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of a meathead thing to do. Now, earlier during our boss fight with Bane, we actually so sneakily placed a little tracker on him. And now that tracker's coming clutch, we have Bane's location. So now it's time to go get him and stop him once and for all, right? Well, not so fast. See, like I mentioned, Bane is really smart. Yeah, he was able to ditch the tracker. He found it pretty quickly. Oh, and another little surprise. Yeah, he just so happens to know Batman's identity, based off him saying, you just ran out of time during that boss fight from earlier. Remember when I said that was going to come in handy? Yeah, you just ran out of time turned out to be the downfall, because it's something he had said at the start of the game as Bruce Wayne. Like I said, Bane's a very smart guy. So Batman informs Alfred, like, yo, man, Bane knows who I am. You could be in trouble. And Alfred thinks it's a good idea to call the police. First of all, are you a moron? Do you really want them to figure out your identity? Second of all, have you not figured out that the cops are just dumb as heck? And if they found out that Bruce Wayne's Batman, they might just straight up kill Bruce Wayne, blackmail him for money, torture him? Who knows what would happen? Alfred, do you even think? This is why I told you to go make me that hot cup of tea. Okay? I'm not paying you for your brains or anything like that. I'm paying you to make hot teas. I like mine peppermint. But of course, as all of this is going on, Firefly's like, yep, I got hostages, I got bombs and a bridge. And Batman's like, ooh, a shiny little red ball. We gotta deal with this before we save Alfred. So basically, to give you the quick gist of the whole bomb situation, there's 4 bombs that we need to defuse. And of course, because we're Batman, we're like, we're gonna defuse this one, and then this one, and then this one, and then this one. We're Batman. We're able to do everything. And right as we're going to defuse the 3rd bomb, we need access to a door in order to get to the 4th bomb. And we're like, yo, Gordon, can you, like, help us out and open up the door? He's like, no, I want to do it all by myself. I'm the guy who's going to be the one to stop this entire operation. Oh, my ego's way too big for this. But because we're Batman, we're like, Alfred, open up the fire door. He's like, yes, sir, right away. Like, you should have just went to Alfred from the jump. If you knew Gordon wasn't going to cooperate, you probably should have just dealt with that from the jump. However, as we're about to get to the last bomb, oh, Firefly's like, ooh, let me detonate it. Oh, but it doesn't work because he's an actual moron. Or maybe it's just a play on the gag from the Dark Knight movie that every single Batman iteration does and ruins the joke completely. Heath Ledger's an absolute legend for that joke. May he rest in peace. And speaking on the boss fight, I really like this. I know it's not difficult. You basically just spam glue grenades at him. You throw batarangs, you bat claw him, rinse and repeat, whatever. But I still think it's very cool. I think it's very interesting. I think it has a lot of very cool scenery in this. And that's just another little props to the game. This is like the definition of a solid boss fight. Because while Firefly doesn't have a wide array of different attacks, he does have a few different attack options that he can go with. And I think it's just a very good experience. I think it's a well-balanced out thing where he's not super hard to the point where it's super annoying. But some people might die just trying to play this. And at the same time, you need to constantly be on the move. You need to constantly be trying to stop him, basically, right in his tracks. I think this is really cool. This is like a solid boss fight. It's not the best, but it's far from the worst. Now, once we dust off our hands and get all finished off with Firefly, Batman's all like, yo, like, I stopped him, you know, but you probably should have helped me. And Gordon's like, I don't take orders from criminals, even though your entire workforce is a bunch of criminals, but sure, whatever, buddy. Then Gordon proceeds to try to take credit for our hard work. He's like, between the both of us, I think we covered it pretty well. Nah, bro, I covered it pretty well, because I am Batman. I am him. I am that guy. And nah, bro, you ain't taking credit for none of it. Get out of here. And I ain't gonna lie to you, Bane is the definition of aura farming. Look what he says here to Batman.
Your goodbyes. Once you've had time to turn grief into anger, then you'll be ready to face me.
I mean, this is just one of those scenarios where Bane could have just told the entire world, oh, by the way, Bruce Wayne is Batman. Nope, didn't want to do that. Okay. So we sprint over to the back computer. We're like, let's get this detective mode on because I'm a billionaire. I have to flex all the cool gadgets I have. We find Alfred. We save Alfred. He ain't gonna die. Don't worry. I mean, he makes an appearance in Batman Arkham City and Batman Arkham Knight. I think people have kind of missed the point that this is more of like treat your family like family. Let them be close to you and actually treat them with respect because they're not always going to be around. I think there was a much more deeper message here than, well, we know he's not gonna die anyway, so, like, what does it matter? Like, yeah, well, maybe don't be a dick to the person who's basically been your parental figure for your entire life. Treat them with some respect. And for someone who just died and was just resuscitated, Alfred's being very positive about this entire thing. He's like, I understand now. Go. I get it. You're Batman. You're him. You're an alpha male. And then Bruce is getting all pouty, like, oh, well, I can't even defend my own home. Well. And Alfred has to remind him, shut the heck up. I ain't making you your tea when you're acting like this, alright? You need allies. You need friends. But stop being a little baby. Go to Blackgate and go and stop Bane. Go and stop the Joker once and for all. And Bruce is like, yeah, you're right, bro. I'm gonna edge to my own Batman porn first, and then I'll be there. And then we're on our way to Blackgate Prison. And after all that, Alfred is giving us pep talks. Like, bro, now it feels like at this point you're definitely clip farming. You're like that guy who's just looking for TikTok clips to post online. Despite being kidnapped, taken hostage, manipulated in the highest form, Harleen Quinzel, aka Harley Quinn, pre-Harley Quinn's all like, it's just an occupational hazard. It's not really a big deal. Then proceeds to get sassy with Batman. Don't you dare even get like that with me, bro. I will just let you get killed next time. Probably should have here in this instance because it comes back to bite us so much in the long run. So we finally catch up to the Joker and Joker's like, I understand you. Now this is turning into a situation of one of us is going to die between the Joker, Bane, and Batman. Joker's trying to prove a point that Batman is the same as the Joker and is willing to kill. And if Batman's willing to kill, then anybody can. And he wants to prove that they are not so different, that they are indeed two threads from the same stitch, that they are not oil and water, but they are in fact ice and water. So then we get to rerun the boss fight with Bane again. And like I said, this one earlier was very good, and this one here is very good. There isn't really much I could say on it, because it's pretty much the exact same boss fight, just in a different location. So we end up giving the beat down on Bane, and we essentially fake out killing him. We basically electrocute him to death, and now we have to restart his heart, yada yada yada. But Joker thinks we've actually killed him, and we wait till the Joker leaves to save Bane's life. That was a very risky play, because what if Joker doesn't leave the room? What do you do in that situation? But regardless, we end up bringing Bane back, and that ends up being probably a very huge mistake. Check this out.
You leave me no choice, Mr. Wayne.
Which is now gonna lead us into the TN1 Bane boss fight. I loved this one as a kid, especially because I was very scared of the big bad Bane. And it becomes harder as it goes on. Bane starts sprinting around, your detective vision goes off after a while. There's a lot of little things that make it harder and harder, and it gets to the point where if Bane gets a hold of you, he does kill you. Now in this instance, it didn't come to that, because it's really not that hard. You can pretty much just sneak up on him at any point and do a silent takedown or kick him into a wall, or it's not really that hard at all. However, I wanted to enjoy this one for a few minutes, so I kind of played it out, made it last a little bit longer, because I find it really hilarious to hit him with a glue grenade and just boogie. I think it's straight up hilarious. But once we get done toying around with Bane, we have the final showdown with the Joker. I'm not gonna lie to you, this one is an epic one. This one is definitely a feeler, and it makes Joker's death in Batman Arkham City all that much more meaningful. I'm not going to lie. I think this is an epic exchange where Joker's trying to prove the point that these two are the same. Batman is trying to prove the point that these two are different. Despite the fact of whether or not these two are different or the same, they are still drawn to each other. Sometimes opposites attract, sometimes the sames attract. And I think in this instance, it could be a mixture of both things. Both things can be true at once. And Joker's whole idea is that they both exist because of society. Society is what caused him to be like this. And I do think there is some truth that your childhood is what would shape you to be this. However, I don't think a bad childhood, or even something that can be seen as negative, is really an excuse to murder and massacre hundreds of people. Batman used his negative childhood with his parents' death as an overall experience to make himself better, to want to help others. Joker's took his in a very negative and dark light, whereas Batman's using his energy to at least try to help people. Now, Batman puts an absolute beating on the Joker, and Joker's absolutely loving it, until one big shot finally puts him out, and we can put this whole Batman and Joker situation to rest for the night on this day. And that is the end of Batman Arkham Origins. So what makes Batman Arkham Origins so good? What made it the perfect Christmas tale? Well, when I say perfect, I mean perfect relative to Batman Arkham, because Batman Arkham is very chaotic. Any superhero theme in general is going to be chaotic, but this had the good mixture of chaos, Batman, Joker, death, explosions, pretty much the whole 9 yards of what a Batman and Joker story is going to have, and they twisted it in a way that suits Christmas, it involving things like presents and gifts and laughs and joy, but in a very twisted and sick manner. Like, for instance, the Joker getting excited at the thought of Batman actually killing somebody brings him so much joy and has to go celebrate the victory on his own accord. Or when Joker blows up a random building just for the fun of it because he wants to open up one present on Christmas Eve. Some of the mission designs overall have some good Christmas theme to them, even little things like Ricky Looselips wearing a Santa hat. I think that this game had an overall very good Christmas theme: snow, Santa hats, presents, laughs, cheers, joy, but in the perfect sense that it's twisted and dark, something that Batman Arkham always was. But of course, in the end, Batman always prevails. This game is number 2 for me in the entire franchise. Let me know what you guys think of Batman Arkham Knight. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a thumbs up, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace!